Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Today, I'm doing a tag video, another tag video. I haven't actually been tagged for this one, but I'm just doing it anyway because I thought it was really interesting and some of the questions really made me think about my perfume collection. So it is the perfume collection tag that I am doing. I don't know if you've seen, lots of people have been doing this tag recently. There's about 13 questions and, which sort of inspire you to think about your perfume collection, I guess. I realise there's lots of noise in the background. The cat and the dog are playing and really not much we can do about that at this point in time. So hopefully it won't be too distracting for everybody. Right, so let's just get on with it, shall we? I have the questions here and I will post them down below as well. So the first question is, what is the newest fragrance in your collection? And this actually just came this week. It is a secondhand bottle of Benagale Rouge by Papillon Perfumes. This is a really beautiful ambery scent, another amber, because I needed another amber fragrance in my wardrobe. So I'm sure this has been talked about quite a bit recently in the fragrance community, so most likely you have heard of it. This was modelled off the smell of cat fur, and I have to say, when it dries down, it does kind of smell like cat fur in a good way, in a really good way. When I first heard about this fragrance, I wasn't all that, I didn't think I was going to be all that attracted to the idea of cat fur, but now that I have a cat, I think that they actually do smell kind of nice. So this is a really beautiful fragrance. It is a little bit animalic. There is an animalic note in there definitely, which is fairly prominent, but not so prominent that, I can't wear it. So I really like it. I've worn it a couple of times, but only light wearing over the past week or so because it's been quite warm here in Brisbane this week. So I haven't really, this is more of a cold weather fragrance for me. I can imagine this would really perform very well in the cold weather. It is really strong too. So that is that one. So question 2 is, what is the oldest perfume in your collection? And you can interpret this a few different ways. So I'm just talking about, I've interpreted it as the oldest bottle that I bought. The bottle that has physically been in my collection the longest. And that is, it's really dirty. Voile de Jasmin. Oh God, I cannot speak today. I'm sorry. I didn't sleep very well last night. Voile the Jasmine one, the Bvlgari Jasmin one. Okay, the Jasmine veil, I think is what that means, or veil of jasmine. Actually, I haven't spritzed this for a really long time, and obviously the lid is missing. I don't know what's happened to that. Oh, this is really beautiful. It's just oh wow, I haven't smelled this for a long time. It's just been sitting on my shelf. I really like this. This would be great. This would be a great wedding day fragrance. I should have thought about this for the last tag that I did. Anyway, so this is by Bvlgari. This was kind of the second fragrance that I bought from Bvlgari. The first one that I ever bought from Bvlgari, which was kind of my first ever luxury house perfume, was the Eau Premiere, the Green Tea Extreme version, which I don't think they do anymore, but it came in this sort of style of bottle. Anyway, that's really beautiful. The other one that I bought at the same time or around the same time is another Bvlgari one, which was Rose Essential. Surprisingly, here I've been saying I was never into rose fragrances, but I really liked this one. I considered this to be really strong when I first bought it, but I wouldn't consider it to be all that strong now. So this one is just a beautiful light veil. It doesn't last a huge amount of time, but I think I used to layer this quite a lot with the Sisley number 3, which is the ginger one that I talk about sometimes. In summer, that combination is really, really good. Anyway, moving on. So I'm trying to go through this really quickly. Clearly, I'm not going to stick to the one fragrance per question. So the next one is, what is the most expensive fragrance in your collection? Yep. Okay. So that would be this one, Initio's Absolute Aphrodisiac. I have talked about this a little, that's a little bit dirty. I have talked about this a little bit recently. So I'm in Australia, obviously, and these are not available in Australia. You have to order them in from overseas. And even then there's only a couple of places that stock them that will ship them to you. At the time when I bought this, Selfridges weren't yet stocking them. So you can get them a little bit cheaper at Selfridges than where I bought this one. And I think, if I'm just referring to my notes because I actually looked up what I paid for it. In US dollars, it was $305, but with shipping and the exchange rate conversion, it ended up being around $450, which is a lot of money and really expensive. I mean, I do have a Fragrance du Bois fragrance, a bottle of Santal Complete, and even that was cheaper than this. That was when you could order directly from Fragrance du Bois from Australia, which you cannot do anymore, unfortunately. Anyway, I digress. The next question is, what is your most affordable fragrance? Well, that was really easy. That is this one. It's Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden. This is the tropical flanker. I picked this up. I didn't even smell it, I don't think. I picked this up at the chemist for just under $8 for 100 mils. I think it's 100 mils. Yep. Yeah, really affordable. Again, I think these fragrances have been getting a fair bit of airtime lately as well, probably because of this tag, because they're so affordable. I bought this flanker because I used to wear the green tea, just the normal green tea fragrance for a few years, but it kind of reminds me of a time in my life where, I don't know, I was being messed around by a guy, okay? And it just reminds me of that time, and I didn't really want to wear a fragrance or the same fragrance, so I thought I'll get a flanker that's a little bit different, but it still smells very much like the original green tea anyway, so I'm not wearing it that much, and this is going in my declutter box because I am in the process of trying to declutter my perfume collection. All right, so what are we up to? We are up to question number 5, and that is, what is your favorite easy reach fragrance? Well, there are actually a few fragrances that would fit this description, but if I'm talking about my favorite fragrance, my favorite easy reach fragrance right now, currently, it is still Chanel No. 5 Eau Premiere. I love this fragrance, and if I don't know what I want to wear, this is usually a pretty good one for me to pick up. So, so good, so good. I love this fragrance. So that is my current favorite easy reach. I suspect that coming into winter, when it starts to really cool down here, although it doesn't get that cold here, it'll probably end up being something a bit heavier, like Santal Majuscule from Serge Lutens, or possibly Chanel No. 5 Parfum. Question number 6 is, what is your favorite perfume bottle design? So this one is interesting because I did a live with Pep from the Sentinel last night, and we were talking about how we like really simple bottles. And so, true to that, I really love the Chanel bottles. I think they are my favorite bottles in my whole collection, just because they're just so simple, but clean lines and just very elegant, always look good on a dresser or or on display, and they feel good in your hand. They're my favorite. But there is one other that I also really, really love in my collection at the moment, and that is the Bee Bottle by Guerlain. So yeah, this is, it doesn't really matter. I don't need to talk about the fragrance. The question is about the bottle, but yeah, this is another one of my favorite bottles at the moment. I mean, I do like the more ornate bottles that are in my collection as well. There is the Whittian bottles. I really like those because they're very heavy and expensive feeling and colourful. But yeah, I think the simple ones are the better ones for me. Question number 7 is, what is your smallest bottle? And it is this tiny, tiny little mini of vintage Coco Chanel. Now this has got to be the smallest mini I have ever seen. I don't even know, it's 4 milliliters, but I don't know, I feel like minis these days are just bigger than this, but this is such a tiny little delicate, I mean, look how thin that is. It's just so cute. I think it's turned. I don't think it smells that great anymore, but it definitely looks cute on the shelf. So the next question, obviously, question number 8 is going to be, what is the biggest bottle in your collection? And I went with volume, not size, physical size of the bottle, although, I mean, it is pretty big. And it's Atelier Cologne Vetiver Fatale. I also have Grand Neroli in this size. These are 200 ml bottles. And yeah, I mean, it's good that they're so big because they are cologne style fragrances. So you do need to spritz a fair bit and re-spritz. Question number 9 is, what is the fragrance that has the fondest scent memory association? This one, Elie Saab, Le Parfum, is the one that has the fondest scent memory for me. The memory associated with this fragrance is that back in 2012, I think, I got a new job that involved flying me to Canada to meet the team. So I was really excited about that because I'd only ever really been on holidays to, sort of countries close to Australia, such as Indonesia and Singapore and things like that. So I'd only ever been to Asian countries. And I'd never been anywhere in America or Canada or anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere, basically, and certainly not Europe. So I went to Canada for, I think, a week and a bit to spend some time with the team that I'd just joined. And at the end of that, I decided that since I was already over in the Northern Hemisphere, instead of coming straight back, I thought I will take a long weekend and fly to France, which everyone thought I was mad because France is still quite a way away from Toronto. It's a 9-hour flight, 8 or 9 hour flight, I think. So everyone thought I was crazy. They're going, why don't you go somewhere closer like New York? Which I did really want to go to New York, but I kind of wanted to save that for another time when I had more time. And in hindsight, I should have saved France for when I had more time as well. 3 days was not enough. So I spent 3 days in Paris, and I bought this at the airport in Toronto as I was flying out to go to Paris, and I was so excited to be going there. And this is what I wore for the 3 days that I was in Paris. Anyway, lovely, lovely scent memory. I just went by myself, didn't speak a word of French. Everyone was really nice, which I was really nervous about because I'd been told by so many people that if you rock up in France and you can't speak any French, they get really upset with you. But they didn't at all. Everyone was really nice to me. There was only one lady in a shoe store, in a shoe section of a department store, who was really rude to me when she realised I couldn't speak French. But that was fine. I just walked to the next section, and then they were really nice to me there. So overall, I felt my experience in Paris as a non-French speaker was really, really positive. In fact, a lot of people took it upon themselves to try and teach me French whenever I would speak to them. So it was great. I did come back with a few words. Anyway, that was a really long explanation. Elie Saab Le Parfum was my fondest scent memory in my collection. Question number 10. Fragrance in your collection that is worth the hype. Okay, I have to reach. I'm reaching. Okay, this is hard because there's a few that I have that I think are worth the hype that they receive. And there's a few that I have of decants of that I definitely think are worth the hype. But this is probably one of the few full bottles I have that I think has been hyped up and in fragrance community, and I think it with good reason. And that is Sycamore by Chanel as part of the Les Exclusives line. Just a really beautiful, clean, squeaky clean vetiver with just a touch of smoke. Oh, it's just absolutely stunning. Technically, this isn't my bottle. I bought this for my partner for Christmas, and I try not to touch it. I try not to wear it, but I don't know. It sits amongst all of my perfumes, so I consider it to be part of my collection by extension. So question number 11 is obviously going to be one that I don't think is worth the hype. So this one is one that I blind bought actually because I saw it. It was not long after it was released that it started to be discounted. So I bought this I saw this was going for less than or about $30, and it's only a 30ml bottle, but I thought, oh, what the hell, I'll go for it. It had been talked up quite substantially, and that is Dylan Blue Parfum. Now that's not to say that I don't like this fragrance. It's just that it kind of got talked about a lot and hyped up a bit, and when I smelled it I was going, oh, you know, a lot of people were saying that it was a very unique fragrance, and I didn't think it's that unique, but it's pretty. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I don't know why everyone lost their mind over it, but I think people just like the bottle. Maybe. Question number 12 is your favorite fragrance from your favorite house. Oh my God, killing me. How can I just choose one? All right, there's two, okay? I did manage to narrow it down to two. The first one, again, probably not going to come as any surprise to any of you, will be Almond Woman by Almond Jane. This is a very dark green, woody, kind of a little bit smoky, a little bit spicy, very almost resinous, but not quite. It's still very green. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So unique. Love it or hate it. It seems to be a very polarizing fragrance, this one. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do, and I'm obviously one of the ones that does like it. The next one, the other one is Santal Majuscule by Serjutan. I just adore this fragrance. And I was talking about this one with Pep last night on that live stream, and I just said that every time I open the cupboard, as soon as my eyes fall onto this, I have to smell it. I'm just compelled to open and smell it. It's just so good. It's beautiful. Okay, so the last question is, what is your most used fragrance? There were a couple of ways that I felt I could interpret this question. I saw Eve do her video on this, Eve Spider Smells, and she was talking about how she keeps a spreadsheet. And I think a few of us do that, where we track what we wear and when we wear it. And the thing with me is that, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people, is that I go through phases of wearing things a lot and then, you know, going on to something else for a while. So the fact that I might have worn something a lot doesn't necessarily mean that I'm wearing it consistently a lot throughout the whole year, for instance. It might just be that I wear it only at a certain time of the year. So I had two fragrances for this question and also there's certain fragrances that I wear for certain things. So prime example, Aqua Universalis by Mason Francis Kurkdjian is the scent that I wear when I'm exercising or when I'm going to the gym, because it's so light, it's very clean smelling, it's not in your face, and it's something that I can, you know, stomach at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm dragging myself into the gym, which I haven't been doing lately, obviously. So I think I bought this late last year, and I've already used almost more than half of this 35ml bottle. So that's that one. The other one, I don't have my full-size bottle out. It's buried deep in the back of the cupboard at the moment, and I just couldn't be bothered moving all the fragrances to get it out. But I have this little mini of Samsara by Guerlain. Over time, if I was to go back over the last couple of years, this is probably the fragrance that I have worn most consistently, either in the EDP form or in the EDT form. And I wear it all year round. I don't have a certain time of year that I wear it. Oh, hello. Somebody's come to say hello. Oh, hello. I'm very excitable, very excitable. We need to take her for a walk immediately. And I think she was just chewing on the microphone, so I apologize for that. That is it for this tag, actually. Yeah, so I have a few videos on the go at the moment. They're all kind of half-baked, trying to get my thoughts in order for it, but I haven't filmed any of them yet, but they're coming. Hence why I decided to do the tag video today, because they're easy things to do and you don't really have to think about them too much other than to choose the fragrances that answer the questions. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'm really enjoying all of the comments that people are leaving, hearing about what fragrances you're wearing at the moment and things that you're gravitating towards. So please, please, please do, even if you just want to pick a couple of the questions that were in the list and just throw some questions, or throw back at me some things that you're enjoying wearing at the moment. I would really, really like to hear it. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there because I'm rambling and Matt's about to make coffee. So it's time to go, otherwise you won't be able to hear me. Thanks everyone, speak to you soon, bye.